Hello students, welcome to the biology class once again. So in the last class we learned about the chemical properties of the monosaccharides. We learned about what exactly happens in the case of Benedict test or the Fellings test, in which a reagent is used which carries the cupric form of copper, and when it comes in contact with the sugar, a reducing sugar, or if a urine sample of a patient, a diabetic patient is taken, if the urine carries the sugar, then in that case this blue color is going to change into red, orange, yellow, olive green or green color. So this indicates the presence of the sugar in the urine, or this indicates that there is a reducing sugar in the test we are performing. So we learned about there are non-reducing sugars also, and we learned that there are not just disaccharides, also there are trisaccharides also, tetrasaccharides also. Now, and then we learned that the plants prefer to transport their food in the form of sucrose. Then there are more available forms like raffinose for transport, and tracheose for transport reason they are non-reducing, or you can say they are non-reactive in nature. Then we learned about the glycosidic bonds which are formed by the sugar molecules. Then we learned the derivatives which are possible, that is acids or the alcohols which can be formed from sugar either by the oxidation or by reduction respectively. Then we learned about that if the amino group is attached to the sugar, it becomes amino sugar. Similarly, a sugar can become deoxyribose sugar if the oxygen from the second carbon is removed. So we learned all these things, and then we began the concept of the oligosaccharides. Now the oligosaccharides are a type of compound carbohydrates. Now what are compound carbohydrates? Those carbohydrates which are made up of more than one monosaccharide, because simple carbohydrates are monosaccharides, and compound carbohydrates are of two types, oligo and poly. Poly carries many number and oligo carries generally 2 to 6. It may go maximum to 9 or 10 monomers. So we learned about disaccharides in detail, and I told you the sweetness index also. And then we started the concept of the polysaccharide, in which I told that polysaccharides are also called as glycans. And to remember that there are two ends of every polysaccharide. One end, the left end is called as the N terminal, which is the non-reducing end, and the right terminal is the R terminal, which is the reducing end. Then polysaccharides are not sweet, and generally they are not dissolvable in water. Exceptions are there. And then the polysaccharides are of two types. If they are made up of same monomer, same sugar repeated a number of times, they are called as the homopolysaccharides. And if they are made up of different types of the sugars repeated, it is called as the heteropolysaccharides, or homoglycan and heteroglycan. Then we learn that if it is made up of pentose monomer pentosan, hexose monomer hexasan. Similarly, if it is made up of glucose repeated glucan or glucosan. So these are the various ways the polysaccharides are generally named. So today we are going to start the topic that polysaccharides are of three types. I only gave a small introduction of these 3 points yesterday. So let's carry on in detail now. So the polysaccharides are functionally of three types. See, structurally they are of two types, homopolysaccharides or heteropolysaccharides, or they can be pentosan or hexosan, etc., etc. So now according to function, three types are storage. First one is storage. We all know the living organisms generally store their food in the form of polysaccharides. So the polysaccharides which are stored in the form of a food or food reserves are called as the storage polysaccharides. We all know the example of starch. Starch is a store product of storage food or the food reservoir of plants. In the same manner, in the case of animals, it is called as the animal starch or the glycogen. So we can say starch and glycogen, they both are examples of the storage polysaccharide. Now let's understand the structure of starch. Starch is basically made up of starch grains. Now starch grains are of two types. They can be simple starch grain or compound starch grain. A simple starch grain will have a single hilum. Hilum is a point around which the starch is synthesized, is either in the concentric rings or in the form of eccentric rings. So you can see here the rings are exactly circular.